introduce Jonathan Ziegler, our presenter this afternoon. John is a licensed broker in Oregon, and in talking with him, he's also practiced in California. His background is luxury real estate, sales, and property management, so pick his brain on that. He's currently with the Reger Group, and his responsibility is working with buyers and sellers, using a level-headed approach and superior market knowledge. Love that, knowledge of the market. He's young, his passion is real estate, architectural design. He has a degree and experience in marketing. His service sets him apart from the competition. When not selling home, John loves to snowboard, not in Maui, backpack, and get outdoors, and he's here this week with his wife. Please welcome Jonathan Ziegler.
Aloha, bro. Thanks for coming.
Aloha, yeah, thank you everybody for having me. I was fortunate to get asked to come speak in front of you guys all today, so once again, thank you all for attending. Beautiful weather. I won't take too much of your time. I'm sure all of you spend a lot of time outdoors. And just go through some things. Latasha's our pen, perfect. So a little bit about today's course. It's for you guys. It's a little bit of a mastermind. I kind of want to go through, have this be as interactive as possible. If you guys have questions particular to your area in your business, I want to make sure that I'm not just telling you guys about things you can use in Portland, but things you can take back home to your own business. So that's the idea today. Mindset to Success was the kind of the course title that we chose, and it's focused on a couple different things. So time blocking is probably one of the hugest things that we find has set our team apart from others. It's just being really intentional with your time. We'll talk a little bit about accountability if you guys want to. Designated lead generation time, and really just have a little Q&A session. So once again, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Yes. And as she mentioned, I'm licensed in California as well as Oregon. Just relocated there a year ago. So a little bit about my course will be about how to kind of jump into a new market and thrive. So I've only been in Oregon exactly a year as of November, and our team is scheduled to close about 120 units this year. So, yes.
Just to share so you know who's in the room.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Jessica Miller here on the end came to us from Florida and has only been here maybe 6 months, 8 months?
Licensed in March here.
In March,
Okay.
So just less than a year.
This is
Similar.
the class I want to hear about.
Yeah, actually, if you guys don't mind, I'd love to just go through the room. Obviously, we're in a small crowd here. If you guys can tell me maybe where you guys are from originally, if any of you guys are transplants or if you're natives. Carol, sorry.
My name is Carol Zoom. I do residential and commercial here on Maui, and I did commercial development in Oregon before I moved here, and I moved here from Austin.
Hi, I'm Edith Kabor. I'm in the residential and commercial division. Moved here from California. I'm licensed in California and Hawaii.
Where in California?
Sacramento.
Okay.
So I was in commercial property management in Sacramento and been here for
Great.
I'm Heather Seidel, and I moved from San Francisco.
Everybody's relocated.
I joined Play Looms a year ago.
Okay.
And prior to that, I was doing online hotel business.
My name is Marcus Springs. I've lived on Maui for about 17 years, been licensed for 2 years, just came on to Keller Williams literally this week. And,
Welcome.
and born in Denver, grew up there in Kansas City.
I'm Steve Bond. My family's been in the islands for 200 years.
Okay.
So I just jumped into the real estate business a couple years ago, and I'm grateful that we have enthusiastic and knowledgeable and happy, loving people to surround myself with.
Jessica Miller, Adam Miller and myself moved here from Florida in January, got licensed in March, so I really wanted to dive into this class about
This
the
March?
market. Yes. So we're getting there, you know, and doing all the things that we're supposed to be doing. So I just want to get as much info and knowledge as I can get here. Thank you.
Riley General, got licensed with my mom, Teresa Williamson, in April. Thought I'd spend 6 months at a different brokerage. and then went into timeshares, lots of that along.
Quick.
Yeah, learned real quick, and then I'm here finally, loving it. Really grateful for all the training and support and all the amazing people that you get to meet and do business with. And moved here from Montana, so always loved the idea of getting my license there as well. So we like to see all the things you do. Montana has that too.
You bet.
Awesome. Well, I met when you came in. I'm Michelle Del Rosario. I'm our principal broker. I'm also managing director for our commercial division, which we started a year ago. I teach our pre-license classes for new agents to get licensed. My family's been here 5 generations, and I've done real estate here 29 years.
Deborah Morrell. I've been on the island for about 35 years, and I just got licensed in September.
Couple
So
months.
I'm brand new.
Alright.
Clueless.
We're gonna fill you out with great ideas.
Terry Palmer, ditto a lot of that, moved from Southern California about 36 years ago, new to real estate and
Great.
I'm Teresa Williamson, I'm her mother, and I've been a realtor since March with Keller Williams. I took a break to get my own house in order, and I'm just now climbing back on board. And I know just enough to be dangerous, and I love Monopoly.
All right.
My name's Joe, and originally from Philadelphia, but I have some good friends that live in Oregon.
Great.
So that's a special place also. My primary business is as a contractor. So most of my time since I got my license about 1.5 years ago has been spent in that, but I'm looking to rebalance that.
Use those two businesses to help each other. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Cool. I'm Gabriela Ramirez. I'm originally from Texas, San Antonio to be exact. Did a couple years in Austin. And then Maui came up and I moved, jumped on that boat. Been here for a year and started real estate, I want to say 3 months ago. Officially got licensed and everything about 2 to 3 weeks ago, so.
Awesome.
Yeah, brand new.
So about half of us here sounds like new agents within a year, honestly. So awesome. So we'll go through, if you guys would like, it sounds like we'll go through a little bit of how to break into the market, how to find your niche, really how to stay true to yourself and find a way to be successful quickly. So absolutely, that's something we can touch base. Well, thank you guys for sharing where you're from and how long you've been here. We've got a lot of Californians, I hear, which I was originally from there, so San Francisco, Bay Area. San Jose is the Silicon Valley, so my background is luxury real estate. A little bit of what you guys do here. What is your average price point, if you guys don't mind me asking? You know? 700? 700, just even 700? Okay. So that's almost double what we are in Portland. Portland, Oregon's about 430. And what I was coming from in Los Gatos, California, our average price point was about 1.3 million.
Our luxury point here is $1.5 million and up.
1.5 million and up. Okay, great. And this community here is for your guys' office. Would you consider this your territory here, or what areas are you covering?
All over.
Entire state? Fantastic.
Well, entire island.
Island, I should say, you're right. It feels like a state, honestly. I did the Hana Highway, what was it, 3 days ago? So I feel like I've seen the whole, island, did the whole thing. Did a Mustang and went the long way around and found out that we should have had a Jeep. So, found out the hard way, but it was a lot of fun. So great, so a couple things like I mentioned for you guys is, one is time blocking is what I'd like to go through. Accountability. Lead gen and script practice. Does anybody have a particular subject that they'd love to have me expand on or have any questions to begin with?
Well, one of the things I keep running into over and over again, and it's just, you know, I'm getting through it and everything, but everybody says, I know 17 realtors, why should I work with you? So to address that this morning would be fantastic.
Absolutely,
Fantastic.
set yourself apart.
Yeah, there you
Great.
go.
Yeah, and if you guys don't have a sheet, it might be useful to grab. This is a Form 1-1. Have any of you guys seen this type of accountability sheet before?
Yes.
Everybody have the handouts? Can I pass one? Great. Let's go. You need everything. All right, here we go. I get to hang out in the middle here. I'll just keep walking around. Anybody missing anything else? Good. So has anybody seen this type of worksheet before, or heard of something called the 411? So I'm sure you have in the back. Anybody else heard of this before?
Anybody through both?
Should hear about it, or you guys will soon if you're new agents. So 411 it's only as good as if you hold to it. So you've got to use it, and what we do, our team uses it weekly. So it's focused on weekly goals, monthly goals, and then yearly goals, and then measuring going throughout those. So that's what we'll go through today for accountability. Is there any other subjects that we want to cover today beyond my 4? I heard friends and agent. Why use you? Any other topics you guys want to hear? You new agents, any ideas, things you want me to run through as new market?
Lead generation definitely sounds good.
Lead gen, so we'll go through that. What would you guys say is your biggest lead source, real quick, and then I'll get to you. Biggest lead source, is it, for new agents, it's probably nothing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sphere, okay, Sphere is a lead source, okay. Anything else?
Previously in my life in Florida, it was expireds. Here, there are hardly any expired listings that come up, so.
Yeah, do you guys have expireds, cancelled?
Very few.
Yeah.
For sale by owners?
There was 4 in the last 3 days. so-
4, okay, 4 in the last 3 days, good numbers. Know your numbers, it's
Yeah,
good.
so networking and meeting people is probably one of the biggest things to tap into the new market here.
Networking.
And you're the queen of it. And you and Adam, oh my gosh.
Open houses.
Open houses, okay, it's a good source.
A lot of the people in my database are in Montana, so.
Okay. So, other state, yeah. Other state database, how to capitalize on that, how to use those people to your advantage, okay. Anything else?
Prospecting?
Prospecting, okay. Yeah, that's part of lead gen, we'll say, so, when you say prospecting, do you mean circle prospecting?
Circle prospecting.
Okay. Perfect. Does everybody know what that is?
No.
Circle prospecting, in a nutshell, is, let's say you have a listing or you have an open house coming up, you have something in a specific area that you have to talk about, and you pull a list, I'm assuming from title, similar you guys have here. Your title office can help you guys with this, pulling a list of homes in a specific geographical area. You can narrow it down even further to certain demographic or age or even their value of their home. You can narrow it down even more centric than that, but you can do, let's say, 3 streets this way, 3 streets that way, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,200 square feet. Who are those people? And your title office will give you a list. And most of the time, you can either plug that into a system or they can give you some contacts. Do you guys use systems like Vulcan or Mojo dialers? Anyone use anything like that?
No.
Used Vulcan.
You've used Vulcan
We've
before?
used it in the past.
Okay. So there's some dialers, and we can talk about these at some point, where you can plug these sort of lists and they'll give you contacts. So circle prospecting is the art of taking that list and in essence calling or walking around to those homes and trying to find business or providing value to find business. Yes.
For our agents in our market, the real property tax tool has a radial search, so you can put in an address and it'll give you within 500 feet or 1,000 feet, and it'll give you a list with addresses. If you want phone numbers, Fidelity has a program called Passport, and you can contact Mercy Palmer. They will sell you contact information for 6 cents per contact. So Eva's gone through that training, Carol's gone through that training for Passport. those will get you the information to support what Jonathan's gonna talk about.
Yeah, there's some groundwork things that I might skip over a little bit that are maybe classes on specific types of prospecting or how to find that information, but yeah, talk to your principal broker, your MCA on where or your upcoming MCA on where to find that type of information. Okay, anything else, guys, or yes?
Breaking into the luxury,
Luxury, okay.
I'm
I'm gonna put a dollar sign
clientele.
on that one. Okay, how to break the luxury niche. If I'm a real estate agent and there's other people that have been selling luxury homes for 10, 15, 20 years and their name is the name in that market, how do you compete? Perfect, okay, we can definitely go through that. Anything else, guys? We've got a pretty good list, I think we can probably jam that out in an hour from now. All right, so time blocking. What I've got here for you guys is, if everybody's got this, it's a little quote from Ziegler. He shares a similar last name to me. I'm not related in any way.
That was my question.
But his quote is, lack of direction, not lack of time is the problem. We all have 24-hour days. So many of you joined real estate, I'm sure, for various reasons. Some people it's for flexibility, some people it's just their dream or passion. And I think the biggest thing a lot of us break into this industry forget about is it is a business. You are still a business person, and many of you may still hold those 8 to 5 hours, but we still work weekends and we work nights, and how do I balance that in my home life and family and still enjoy beautiful Maui weather? So the idea is to just be really intentional with your time. Whether you follow kind of a schedule like this is an 8 to 6:30 schedule that my team follows pretty strictly, or if you find a way to jam these things into hours that work for you. So if for instance you are working open houses as your general prospecting and you're working 3 open houses on a Saturday and 3 open houses on a Sunday, well, maybe this schedule doesn't work for you on Mondays and Fridays. Maybe those are your days off that you don't use this schedule or a type of this schedule. Or maybe you use half of this schedule on certain days and the other half on others. It's just kind of a basic groundwork you guys can take into your normal lives. So the idea that we use is lead prep is the best way to start lead generation. So lead generation is another topic we're going to go through more in depth. But the biggest source of our business, you guys have gone through a lot of different things, circle prospecting, sphere, expire, networking, open houses, is outside leads, outside sources. So expireds, canceleds, for sale by owners. It's not really inside sales, it's outside sales. It's our 125 closings, probably 40 or so of those are from some type of outside prospecting. And so you ask, how do you prepare for that? Well, from 8 to 8:30 every day, we do basically what we call our distraction eliminator. So when you come in and you don't have a purpose for that day, you don't have an offer you're writing, you don't have a listing presentation you're going to in the afternoon, how do you know what you're going to do for that day? Well, it's easy to get tied up in all of the minutia of what you need to do at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Maybe you're meeting with a seller at 6 p.m. because they work a normal 9 to 5 job. And you could spend your entire day preparing for that, but maybe you'll have neglected another client that you've already started working with. Or maybe there's a fire that you're putting off because this listing presentation is your biggest priority that day. Well, the idea of time blocking ensures that everyone's getting a piece of your time. So that's kind of eliminate distraction, fires, everything like that. Then we do something called script practice. That's a big other point here. You guys do script practice here in the office? Perfect. Anybody not been a part of script practice or done script? Okay. Okay, so were you also in another brokerage before here?
I was.
What brokerage?
Jeff Griffin LLC.
Okay, so smaller
Yeah.
brokerage here. Okay, great. So that's one thing that I will say Keller Williams taught me more than other brokerages is script practice and the real power of it, and doing it with others. So hopefully you get to be a part of that. This is what, week 2 you said?
Week 1.
Week 1, okay, well, next week.
No problem.
The idea of script practice obviously is to continue to master your craft. So coming in and having an idea of something you're going to say to a customer and practicing that with another agent, another individual, so that you have the agility of mind when that conversation is live to be able to problem solve on the spot, because you've already given yourself those types of situations. You've already gone through them with a friend. And doing that with someone that actually tests you, not just going through, and it doesn't mean verbatim going through this quote, lack of direction with no lack of time is the problem. Just not going through in a script. It's really finding a way to hear the other side of the conversation and plugging that into part of it. Or having an objection, like, oh, I've really got to head to work. You know, just having someone with you that kind of finds these objections and finding a way to use objection handlers to still gain you the business in the future. So we can go through script practice a little bit more, but I wanted to go through this schedule for you guys. Any questions so far on the first 2 blocks we're talking about?
So basically, think of script practice as practice overcoming objections.
Really, objection handlers. Yeah. So, have you guys heard of something called LP Mama?
Yes.
Okay. So LP Mama is kind of the guideline to a conversation, going over price, location, all of that. But you should also be using objection handlers in each and every one of those things. So maybe they're looking, their price point is $1 million, and an objection to that is, okay, have you been qualified? Well, maybe you find a way to fit that mortgage conversation into a different part of the scripting, so you're not hitting the price, making someone feel bad about their qualifications in the first part of the conversation. So yes, script practice should be objection handlers in my opinion. It's the best one. Any other questions so far, guys? Perfect. So that's script practice. Then it's stat research. Do you guys have any company generated statistics that come out on a weekly or monthly basis that tell you about price point or how quickly homes are selling? Is there that? You can get on MLS, I'm sure, too, as well. Okay. Title companies. Perfect. Yeah, so it's really just the idea of being an expert. So at the end of the day, we're all salespeople in one way, shape, or the form. And people hire us because we know what we're talking about. We need to either be an expert in a particular neighborhood, in a particular price point. We need to be an expert in negotiations. You need to find your expertise. One that we should all have is the statistics. We should know the average price point in your particular area. We should know how many days on market homes are. You can have really winning conversations. It's about kind of finding the opportunity. So if you have a client, what's the average size home here, I should ask?
2,000 square feet.
2,000 square feet. Smaller, somewhere maybe around 1,700, somewhere in there, 3-bedroom. Okay, so if you have a client that's maybe looking for something that's outside of the norm a little bit, maybe they're looking at 2,500 square feet, and you find a statistic through Title or MLS that says 2,500 square feet is selling for 97% of asking price for the past month. Well, that's a talking point that you should have for your buyer. That's something that sets you apart from another agent, is you've done the research to find a statistic that is particular information for them. So it's about finding those talking points and doing that before you're in the conversation, so you have these kind of ready at mind. So kind of how this works for me is you're eliminating your fires, you run into the door, you've got your emails, your text messages, you get those all out of the way. Phone goes on silent. Then you get kind of into focus mode. And you're either talking with a teammate, you're talking with another agent about things you're seeing in the market to find out what you're talking about that day. So intentionality, coming in with something you're going to talk about that day. Did you have an open house and you met a client that's looking for beachfront, or I suppose beachfront is not the word here, maybe oceanfront, ocean view, ocean view properties. Maybe that's what you're going to research that morning. That morning you're going to find out how well those are selling. You're going to find out when the last one in that area sold for and how quickly. You're going to find some type of opportunity that allows you to have an educated conversation with that lead. Okay, and then let's see, that's finding the opportunity. Storytelling. So the biggest thing that Reger, I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of him, he's Portland, Oregon, was top real estate agent, I think, in 2015 in the Oregon area. He was with Hassan for a long time, which is a big company there. Then has been with Keller Williams. He owns several of the offices. He's actually my boss and our team leaders. So I have the benefit of not just having been in the industry myself, but having such a great leader that's been in the industry 24 years now. So I get to hear his conversations and his stories every day. And the biggest thing that I have learned from him is telling people what you do. Every day you're working on something. You're a real estate agent, right? You're working hard, you're working 12 hours a day. Maybe you're just starting out and you're working with construction, so you're only working 3 hours a day. But when you have a win or when something good happens, tell other people about it. So let's say you got your first listing, and many of you are new to the industry, and I don't mean to make any of you feel bad. You will get your first listing and you will be so excited. When you get that first listing and when you have an outrageous open house, tell people about it. If you're circle prospecting a neighborhood, you have a house that you've just held open and you had 12 groups through that open house, tell people about that in your conversation. You'll never believe it. I just held the Johnson's house open 3 doors down and I had 12 groups through. Average in our area is 4 groups through on a Saturday. That's awesome. That means people are looking for your neighborhood. That means people are looking for homes like yours. You thought about selling? You thought about selling while the market's still hot? Have you thought about selling while interest rates are so low for buyers? Find that conversation to have and then tell people when you have great wins. If you get multiple offers on a listing, tell people about that. Wow, you'll never believe it. My team, myself, I worked so hard. I went and I invited the neighborhood to the open house. We negotiated 2 offers. That first offer came in, and even though my client wanted to jump on that first offer, I suggested they wait 48 hours and we set an offer deadline, that we make sure that we get them the best price. By doing that, we got 2 offers. And the house didn't sell for just asking price. Now the house sold for 15 above asking price. Isn't that awesome? Wouldn't you want a real estate agent that does that for you? So just finding those types of conversations and telling people what you do, I think is the biggest thing that I learned by joining the team that I'm on right now. Is you may work so hard day in, day out and trade your time for work. You may trade time with your kids and time on the beach for work. And if you're not using that time to gain more business, well, you've got to try. So any questions about that so far, guys? That's what we call storytelling. Finding the opportunity and storytelling. Then that goes into lead generation. So we'll jump into this real quick. How many of you are doing lead generation every day? We got 1. Anybody else? How about a couple days a week, 3 days a week? Anybody doing 3 days a week? Perfect. How many of you doing it 1 day a week? How many of you are not doing any lead generating so far at all? Some of you, it's okay. So lead generation is something that I learned. If you don't have clients, or if you find a way to only focus on clients that you have, you will run out of business. It just, unfortunate part of the way that this works is if you have that one seller, you have that one buyer, and you're so excited, and you get them in the car, and you find them the perfect house, and you write that offer, the next day you realize, I'm not showing any other buyers houses tomorrow. Or you sell that listing and you get that commission check and you're so excited and you're probably go out to dinner because it's been a little while and you've been eating top ramen and whatever else it may be. You get that commission check and you go there and then the next day you say, okay, well, what's next? Lead generation is the surefire way to make sure that you constantly have someone in the pipeline. You can't always be servicing only your existing clients. Like it or not, our business, it moves on. Buyers and sellers continue to buy and sell houses. You have to continue to work with clients. And that doesn't mean that you're constantly doing these types of outside, circle prospecting, networking, expires. It doesn't always mean outside. It could be your sphere, it could be your family, it could be coffee dates with someone you went to college or high school with. That is still lead generation. Like it or not, you're a salesperson, and what you do for a living depends on people. It's 100% a people business. It's word of mouth. A lot of it's word of mouth. So find whatever your guys' niche is in terms of lead generation, and just try and do that. I would say, what's a good number for every day? Could you guys do 3 days a week? Could you commit to 3 days a week, everyone? I would challenge you to commit to several days a week, making that a part of your daily regimen. Anybody talk about a source that we don't have up here?
Uber and Lyft.
Uber and Lyft, okay. All right, talk about Uber and Lyft. Do you guys have those all on all areas of the island, or are there only certain cities that have Uber and Lyft here?
Oh, no, there's Uber and Hana.
Oh, there is?
I do it, I
Okay.
know. I don't do
you have to drive on
Hana,
me?
but I have gotten a ride from the airport to Hana at night, so that was fun.
Okay.
We don't have so much.
I drive Uber too. I met you in Uber.
Small world.
Yes, I have your, yes.
Yep. We've emailed and everything.
Yes.
Some of our agents use Boomtown.
What's that?
Some of our agents use Boomtown.
Boomtown, awesome. Okay, Boomtown. Yeah, Boomtown is a CRM, a customer retention program, or a customer customer relationship
Management.
CRM, difficult acronym. Boomtown is a way where if you guys have leads, you have a pipeline, it keeps all that information in one place. Who isn't using a CRM right now, or who's using a different CRM?
Wait, but isn't our database a CRM?
Command.
Yeah.
Most
Command.
of us are using Command.
Command, how is Command for you guys? Have you completely rolled out here?
We're rolled out for contacts,
Okay.
and we're starting in some of the functionality
Okay.
opportunities.
We use Sync. You guys have heard of Sync? It's another CRM just like that. So
Brevity.
Brevity, yeah, Brevity's a good one. Where there's contactually, there's so many.
Yeah, but you don't, I mean, you gotta pick one and stick with it, don't you?
Pick one.
Yeah.
Pick one and use it for as long as you possibly can, because the next time you go to something shiny and something shiny and something shiny, it's just your database will continue to get more jumbled and more jumbled. Your notes will never be as clear and concise as you want them to be. So yeah, my suggestion, good.
Use Command, it's free, it's included in your fees,
Command.
and it's gonna be integrated into all the functionality for all the new stuff that's coming.
Yeah.
Create campaigns.
Yeah. Command's great.
There's a lot of new design function in Command.
Any of you guys use social media here?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a huge one. Social media, so Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. There are people that do this better than I, but Instagram is a huge business now. I'm sure, as many of you know, we all hear about influencers, right? These people make millions of dollars a year just taking photos of themselves doing something with products attached to them, having some sort of advertising. What if you were doing that in the reverse? You're the product, you're advertising yourself, you're at a